This is the ultimate camera rig for coaches. I'm using it right now, in fact. If you look here, there's gonna be the teleprompter, the camera behind it, everything needed in order to get a super minimalistic yet high quality camera feed just like I'm using. So I put this rig together for a client because he said he wants high quality video for all of his coaches so that they can coach his clients better. Here's what he said. He wants to be able to just walk right up to his desk, push a button and get going. He wants high quality video for live calls and recording 4K content. He wants a teleprompter, and by the way, yes, I am reading off a teleprompter right now. These are just for bullet points and also for scripts if he's shooting ads, and he wants to have perfect eye contact with his client in his Zoom calls, just like I'm doing right now. So stick with me as I build this step by step over the next multi-part series. Before we start the 6-part tutorial where I show you how to build this whole thing out step by step, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell. This is the ultimate camera stand for coaches. Don't put thousands of dollars of gear on a $28 stand like this. You need something a lot more heavy duty when you're talking about a professional setup. It's so funny how everybody's thinking about the camera and the lens and the mic, but people aren't paying enough attention to what's holding it all up, which is super important because think about this. You know how when the camera's all wobbly just because you barely touch the table, also the risk of this whole thing kind of just tilting or breaking. You don't want that to happen, so here's what you're gonna need. Here's the 3 main things. Number 1, you're gonna need a tripod extension shaft. Number 2 is a heavy-duty desk clamp. And number 3 is you need a fluid drag head. What that means is the type that when you tilt it and let go, it goes back to the center, keeping your equipment safe.
Putting this together is super simple. Let's take the clamp, screw the tripod extension onto here, and then we take the head and we screw that onto there.
Now, this shaft in the middle is called a tripod extender because it's made to actually extend a tripod a little bit higher. And that's as simple as taking the base plate, screwing it onto the bottom, and then attaching that to the tripod. So now you'll be able to take your entire rig and clip it onto a tripod just like that. This is the ultimate camera and lens for coaches. Now, I'm using the Sony ZV-E1 in this rig for the client, and the reason I picked this particular one is because it has a full frame sensor. Full frame sensor means that you're gonna get that really nice shallow depth of field, or more simply, blurry background, sharp foreground, and this camera is really good at that. It's also really good at finding facial recognition and always getting a really sharp focus. The lens I'm going with in this case is the Sony Zeiss f1.4 50mm lens. Now this lens is really beautiful. It's usually a portrait lens, and for most cases it's not really good to use as a webcam, but this particular client is gonna be far enough back so that it actually makes sense, which is gonna be about 1.5 to 2 meters. Then you'll get to have your shoulders and your head and most of your arm inside the frame. But in most cases, I'd recommend something a little bit wider, such as this one, which is a bit cheaper. It's 16 to 35mm zoom lens. It's also made by Zeiss, and you get a much wider one. In fact, that's the same one I'm looking at right now as I record this. I know somebody's gonna be thinking, should the camera be horizontal or vertical? I say always go horizontal, but use an extra wide lens and always record in 4K. Here's the thing, we're talking about podcasts, Zoom calls, most formats, you're still gonna want that horizontal format. However, if you're recording in 4K and extra wide, then you could crop in, losing 0 quality for the shorts, the reels, and the TikToks. This is the ultimate teleprompter for coaches. A lot of people are gonna think that teleprompters are just for reading scripts. Couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of times it is so annoying when I watch people's videos and they're supposed to be looking at the camera, but they're looking at themselves on the side just like this. And the same thing is happening in your sales calls, in your Zoom meetings. Everything is less impactful when you're looking off and not at the exact lens. And that's why you're gonna need one of these. I've created a lot of teleprompter rigs, and for 99.9% of you, the Elgato prompter is gonna be the best option. It's got everything in one. You've got the monitor, you got the mirror, you got the lens mount. It's all together, and there's just one cable that plugs to your computer, and that's all you gotta do. I'm gonna set this up with you, but this is gonna be the shortest tutorial I've ever made. Let's go. Step 1 is get the ring adapter for your lens and screw it on. Step 2 is take the Elgato prompter and then just slide it down. And we're good to go. This is the ultimate microphone for coaches. This is the Shure MV7, and I'm gonna be adding it to our camera rig, which is the ultimate camera rig for professional coaches. The reason this is the best is because there's both XLR and USB output, meaning that you can have a desk that's not cluttered with mixers and amps and preamps and all those things. You can plug this in with USB straight to your computer and no one is gonna know the difference. You can take the mic, attach it to a stand, and just plop it in front of you, and you can use it just like that. But my client client said he wanted a clear and clean desktop with as little clutter as possible, so I'm going to show you how we're going to work that out. So what we're trying to do here is give this a minimal look while keeping the table as clear as possible. The mic has a single USB cable that goes all the way into that hub. This mic boom is made by Blue, and one reason I love it is how it has this nice channel that hides the cable all the way and keeps everything looking very clean. Now, this client wanted the camera quite far away because of the size of his table. Therefore, this arm is going to be perfect because it reaches all the way over, allowing you to do the shaka hands, which is your thumb touches your lips, pinky touches the mic, and that's as far as you should ever be from the microphone. Here's how to hook up the ultimate camera rig for coaches. All right, so this is all hooked up now. We've got the teleprompter here, we've got the lens, got the camera, and it's all hooked up to the desk rig. I chose the Sony ZV-E1 because it has a beautiful full frame sensor and a great image, but it has one fatal flaw. When you use it for extended periods of time, then it can overheat. So since this is a rig that's going to be consistently staying in one place, I got a cooling fan for it. This is something by Ulanzi. It sticks onto the back, and as long as this is running, I've never had heating issues. Something that's important to me is to have all the cables always organized and tied down with Velcro strips. So let's go over how this is all hooked up. HDMI out from the camera, USB-C from the prompter. This cable supplies power as a dummy battery, and this USB cable powers the fan. One USB cable from the Shure microphone that comes out the back, and everything connects into this powered hub by Anchor. And ultimately, just one cable to the laptop and you're hooked up to everything and charging. Okay, I'm kind of excited because we got it all hooked up and it's finally working. Have a look, guys. So this is the quality that you're seeing right here. I am looking at the teleprompter up there. You can see the beautiful imagery from the camera sensor, the lens, and also you're hearing my voice from this microphone, which, as you can see, is stretched way over here like this, okay? But from inside this frame, this is just natural lighting. I've got no studio lights going. I could be looking at my notes way over there, if I zoom in, all right? I could be looking at my notes there, and I can be having an interview with someone and recording really high quality video. So here's a couple use cases for how this can all work. This is actually the video that I'm shooting right now, and some plans and bullet points, right? It's not a script, it's just bullet points. I'm gonna take this and drag it up to here. That's my teleprompter. Now I can just be looking at this classically, in the classic way, and just reading notes and talking right to the camera while it's recording here in 4K. That's super cool, right? Now, one more use case is called the confidence monitor. So when I look here, I can see the video feed. I'm looking at myself and I can see what's going on here. But when I look up there, I can't see myself. So I'm wondering, am I really nailing it, right? So I can just take this and drag it up to this window up here. And now I could be looking right at my own video image, just like a mirror. And that's gonna allow me to have the confidence to know that I'm looking at the right place, that it's recording, that it's framed properly, and that it's all working. Before I let you go, let me just show you one last trick that you can do with the Ultimate Coach's camera rig. All right, check this out. Here's what's going on is that because we used a proper tripod extension, so this is actually a tripod extension shaft, we could connect it to a regular tripod, and then this thing is free to move around everywhere. And then you can capture a full frame image of yourself just like you're seeing right now. And you're not limited to using just your desk. This is the ultimate video recording software for coaches. For me, Riverside is the ultimate recording software for coaches because you record everything at full quality. This video right now is being recorded in Riverside. So it's full quality, that means 4K video. You also get full quality audio, that's 48 kilohertz. And on top of it, you can do interviews just like you do on Zoom without sacrificing quality. A lot of times people record things to their computer, like on Ecamm or to SD cards. When you're recording to SD cards, what happens is you're gonna take the SD card, you're gonna upload it to your computer, and then upload it to Google Drive, and then share it with your editor, right? When you're recording to your computer, you record a file to your computer, upload it to Google Drive or wherever, and then share the link to your editor. With this, you record and you hit stop. The editor is gonna get right into the studio where this is edited, and they're gonna get alerted something got recorded, and they're gonna take that and start editing it. And don't get me started, I've tried a lot of different platforms. I've tried Zoom, Ecamm, StreamYard, OBS, you name it. They are all good for different things, and I still do use them, but the one that captures the best quality and also allows interviews and coaching is this one right here, Riverside. So give it a shot. Hey, thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video, and I hope that you found at least one thing that you can action right away, and it's gonna help you in your coaching business with content creation, with webinars, with live calls, with Zooms, with actually coaching your clients. If you love this, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.